Hello, welcome on this video. I'm going to show you the last release of our web application Webmonitor. So I don't know if you are already familiar with the functioning of the Newsteo solutions. Basically, it is made of three parts: a data logger, you can see here, including a sensor, for example, a temperature data logger. You set the frequency of the measure every 10 minutes. The data logger takes the measurement and sends it by radio to a gateway. Here is a gateway. You can have dozens of data logger connected to the same gateway. The gateway receives the measurement and sends it through Ethernet, Wi-Fi or cellular network to the Newsteo servers. And then, thanks to the Webmonitor application, you can display the measurements on a PC here. So today I'm going to show you the last release of the Webmonitor software, which is a web application. So I go back to the interface and then I have to log in. There are three pieces of information to enter: the name of the database, the ID, and the password. You log in and then you can access to your Webmonitor dashboard. So first, let me introduce you the interface. The menu, the main menu, is available on the left here. If you wish, you can reduce the size of the menu by pressing this button. It provides you with a bigger screen to display the measurements. During the presentation, I will keep the left menu open. It will be easier to read it. Then on the top right of your screen here, there is a second menu. The content of this second menu depends on the screen on which you are located. You see here on the dashboard, but if I click on charts, the menu is not the same. Here on the middle of the screen, you can see what we call the dashboard. Each data logger is represented by a square here, or we also call that a widget, and you are free to move them and to choose the order in which they are displayed. For each data logger, you will have its name here, the time of the last measurement here, the value of the last measurement here, the 10 last measurements displayed as a graph, the trend, which is just here, if the measurement is inside the threshold limits or not. Here it's okay, you can see the widget is green, and at the bottom of the widget you have technical data such as the tail number, the battery level, the measurement frequency, and so on. The color of the widget depends on if the measurement is inside the thresholds or not. You can see widgets that are orange or red because the measurement is over the thresholds, or blue because it's under. There are different ways to display the data in the dashboard. This one is a standard one, but you can also upload a plan or a picture and use it as a background. You can also choose the size of the widget. If you have a lot of widgets to display, you can choose a smaller size to have a full screen view. You can see that groups have been created. To set those groups, you can go in the Devices menu. First, you can create a new group here. Give it a name. Also a description. And then choose the group type, either simple, just a blank background, or plan. Select then a picture or a map you upload. Then choose the size of the widget. If you have many data loggers to display on the same screen, choose a mini widget style. If you only have a few, keep the classic widget style, which will give you more detailed information. And click on Save. Go back to the previous menu and then select the loggers you want to put in this new group. On this menu, you can also access the setting of the devices and modify it. Just click on the device and you can modify the measurement frequency, or also you can set the measurement thresholds of the sensors of each device here. If I come back to the dashboard, then I can see the new group I have just created. I will now show you how to display the measurements. There are several ways to do it. On the dashboard, click on the histogram icon. You will directly access to the measurements of the selected widget. You can then modify the period of the sensors you want to display. You can also select charts and create a filter. This menu is very useful because you will be able to save this filter you have just created. So I'm going to choose just the two temperature sensors from two devices. Then I choose a number of days I need to display. For instance, the last 3 days. I save it as a filter. And then display charts. And I then have the two curves of my two different sensors. The last way to display the measurements is just to click on the name of the filter on the right menu of the dashboard. There is also a new statistic option which is very useful. Just display a graph and we will take just one graph, one curve, and then enter the menu on the right. Tick Analyze Tools, and then we're gonna enter new thresholds. You just tick this case and you will immediately see how long the measurements were under or above your custom thresholds here. And if you move the mouse cursor over the duration, you will see on the graphs the corresponding ranges. I will now show you how to create users and users groups. This is very important because we will see later that when setting email or text message alerts, or when you wish to send automatic PDF reports to someone, it is always linked to user here. So you need to create the users first in order to set automatic reports or alerts. First, I create user groups with the rights by pressing here, user group, and I enter a new name, new group. Then I choose the rights this new group will have. This is the dashboard, the charts, alerts, and so on. I can choose in the list. And now I will create a new user. Give him a name, a password, and then I will put him inside the new group I've just created. And what is very important is also to enter an email for him. and a phone number. This phone number will be used to send him short text. And then click on Save. We are now going to see how the alerts are managed. The alerts are linked to the thresholds set inside the data loggers. We saw previously how to add those thresholds. So here is the alert panel. This is one of the major modifications of this new Webmonitor release. The alerts are now displayed by range. If there are 5 consecutive measurements in alerts, they are shown in one range here. The icon shows the alert type at the beginning of the alert and then when it came back to normal. I can see also the duration of the alert. And if the alert has ended, its status will be closed. If it's still in progress, the status will be the alert status. Here, for instance, very low to say that the temperature is too low. Here I click on the range and I can see the details of this alert range. I can also comment or acknowledge an alert. The comment is automatically linked to the user who is connected and who entered the comment. Then, if I go back to the alert panel, I can see the alert which has just been commented. To set an alert, you have to go in the Alerts panel and then in the menu on the right. Click on Alert Profiles. The different alert profiles are displayed. You can create a new one just by clicking on the plus button. Enter a name and a description for your new alert. Choose the trigger of the alert. You can select several alerts. For example, you can set 2 triggers, one for too high measurement and another one for too low measurement. And you can also add a back to normal message here. Then you can choose if you need a temporization on the alert. If you leave the @ on 1, it means that as soon as you have one measurement in alert, you will get an alert message. If you wish, you can enter 3, for example. Then you will receive an alert message only on the 3rd consecutive measurement in alert. If you happen to have only 2 measurements in alert, and then the measurement goes back to normal, you won't get any alert message. After that, you can choose how many notifications you want to get and which kind of message, email, short text, or both. Finally, you can choose the person to whom the alert messages will be sent. You see that you have to choose them inside the users list. Finally, you select the devices or the sensors which are concerned by the alert. So I will choose only this group and temperature sensors. You can create as many alert profiles as you need. You can also modify an existing one. We will now see how to create a PDF report. To create a PDF report or to set the automatic sending of a PDF report to a user, go in the Reports panel. In the first column, I would suggest not to use an existing filter but to create a new one. Click on Next. Then select the devices and the sensors you wish to see in the report. If you have created groups, you can search by groups. Click on Next. Then choose which data you need in your report, just the alert periods or global charts, and so on. All the measurements. Click on Next, and then you have 2 possibilities. You are willing to create an immediate report. Choose the report period here today, for example, and click on Generate Report. It will take a few seconds to create the report, just wait, and the reports appear in the browser. Here you will have the curves and all the measurements you have chosen to get. If you wish to set an automatic sending of the report to user, then you will just use the scheduled period menu, and for instance you're gonna choose to get it every week, every Friday. You choose the recipients in the user list, and be careful, you need to click on Save as Filter. Report week. Your report is now scheduled. If you want to modify it, you can either select it or suppress it through the menu on the top right. Rename filter, copy filter, or delete filter. You can also create or export the measurements in a CSV file. The functioning is exactly the same as the PDF report. You click on Export, and then you choose either an immediate export or an export you will receive by email every day, week or month, and so on. We will now have a look to the Events menu. The Events menu displays all the activities of each user. You will see every change done through the interface, group creation, modification of the user rights, and so on. To conclude, we have just added a new option which enables you to display the dashboard in full screen. With this option, the user can only display the dashboard, but he won't have access to the full Webmonitor interface. Go on Devices and on one of the groups and tick the kiosk option. Copy the URL. Paste the URL on the browser. Enter again your identification codes. You now see the kiosk display. Thank you very much for your attention.